command. You don't need to count me in, okay?
I want to do that like they do in the beginning, or they're like 3. No, they're like 5, 4, 3. No, they do. They go silent for 3.
They go silent for 3, and then
they
like
go 2.
And then they point at you like you're the last man on earth.
Yeah,
and they wink
makes
at you
you feel
sometimes.
special.
It makes you feel special.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, so this is okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you who it is. But the one thing I am gonna tell you is that little tiny demonic demons, not angelic demons, as is with Rachel, which is a card.
Lucifer.
Lucifer is
He's angel slash demon.
Is he a demon? Your angel? No, he's a fallen angel, isn't he?
He can be your angel.
Is he an angel or fallen angel?
He's on his creature, on his name it's fallen angel Lucifer, but on his creature type it's angel slash demon. And it literally says underneath, I can be your angel or your devil or something like that.
Does he actually say that?
Something like that. He has.
I challenge everybody to go out now.
I'm gonna friggin'.
He's gonna look for it.
I saw it like a second.
Anyway, I have little. The joke is dead. Never mind. I was gonna say I had demons living in my nose, and that's why my voice sounds bad. But it's over. I'm sorry, guys.
Your voice just sounds
turn
bad,
off.
Actually.
Man, that's not nice. Okay, you can be mean to me when we're not making videos. Why do you have to be mean to me on the internet?
Because I'm
on the internet,
yeah,
Dayman.
So follow me, I shall be your angel. Oppose me, I shall be your demon.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Remember, I sent you a Snapchat once and I circled it and I saved it and I sent you on a text or whatever.
Is this where
you can circle it and I'm like, and underneath I wrote I can be your angel or I can be your devil.
Is this where the meme started for us, or was this after the internet?
This was before. This was before. We knew the meme before that, but I remember like having a Lucifer, and then like taking a picture on Snapchat, circling the flavor text at the bottom, and writing underneath, "I can be your angel" or "I can be your devil," and saving it and sending it to you. And you lost your shit.
Cool. 2 minutes later of just not talking about anything about this deck at all.
Anyways, this is a Sol deck.
Yeah,
because that's his name, Sol.
Pretty much. The only other time that we've had Sol on this channel so far was just a versus video that we did with my old Gil Alhamat deck versus your old Sol deck.
Because back then everyone was doing the same thing with him, and the card that they were using for like a really big early burn combo is getting rotated. And there was a new card, a really big cost blue card that got introduced. So I was like, okay, instead of doing that, where it's easier to interrupt it because that combo with Volca and you do Steam Explosion, you have a creature on board that can kill, you have a chant in your hand that can cancel, or you have something in your hand that can like do hand removal for, right?
Yeah.
This combo, you just need stuff in your hand, so it's either they'll cancel the chant or they'll hand control you.
Yeah.
So less things to screw up, right?
So essentially, like, there's 5 or 6 new cards that came out from Echoes of the New World that makes this deck phenomenal. And Dayman, you were saying something about seeing a similar version of this combo but with a different deck?
Yeah, it was I saw it being done with Prisia because like with Hydromonica, you pay 2, you sack it, you put something on top of the deck. Same thing as Faded Reunion, the half part, where you can put something on top. And then her Judgment, you do your Judgment, you come in, and you can put a creature on board you have on the bottom of your deck, look at the top card, if it's a creature, put it into play. So they would cheat in this big blue creature with that, and then this combo would go off because when it enters, you grab a non-chant 1-drop, 2-drop, and 3-drop, right? Whereas this version, it's because Hydromonic is getting rotated. So this version is purely in rotation. It's not... It hits them like a truck, but
it's brutal.
It's not ridiculously competitive because a lot of competitive things have cancels. They have hand control. Like usually a competitive deck either it's insanely fast, has hand control, or does canceling.
Yeah, but I mean, ideally, if you were to make this deck a little bit more competitive, you could hypothetically make a sideboard with like some cancels or something. If I
was to make it more competitive, I would probably add another color.
Yeah.
Probably add green.
Add green, but on the sideboard, right? You can put in like 4 dual stones, and then put in.
Well, even so, like every single stone in here is red-blue.
Yeah.
So it'd be really easy to add another color. There's a green-blue chant cancel, which is probably the more useful one for you because it cancels draw a card. But anyways, that's how to make it more competitive. This is just a fun, like combo-y. Like if your friend isn't super competitive with it, you could beat their face and make them cry.
Pretty much.
So yeah.
So this is Sol Hierophant of the Helio star.
Hierophant?
Hierophant. H-I-E-R.
Wow.
O-P-H-A-N-T.
Yeah.
Helio star. Yeah, I used to kind of think that this ruler was pretty much just a slightly better, like dual color version of both Mars and.
Yes.
Yeah, but like now with this combo that you made, he's actually like phenomenal. Like we've play tested this like 3 or 4 times now, and you can reliably get this mega.
It's not every time, but like I'd say over half.
Yeah.
Over half.
So we're not gonna go over what he does. It's pretty.
No, we go over. Anyways, he
sure?
starts the game with 2 mana counters. You can remove them for.
It's a pretty old ruler. Are you sure?
Yeah, but it's easy.
Okay.
Anyways, starts the game with 2 mana counters. You can remove them at any time to produce red or blue for ancient magic cards. He has Energized red blue, Judgment for 3. When you Judgment, and this is actually important to know. So let's say you pay 3 to Judgment.
Flippity dip dip.
So he has an ability where he gets 5 mana counters, flat out, right? Then he has another ability where if you remove a card called Runic Commander Demon Akiot from your hand as it enters, not when it enters. So like if there's anything that was like cancel mobility or like of something that enters, it still won't do it because it's as it enters, right? So that's really important to know. You remove the demon. This is the demon.
That is a demon.
So what it does is when this card enters your field, put a mana counter in your J ruler. Whenever you play Chant, you may bounce it back to your hand. But we don't really use it for that.
No.
We have 3 in the deck because we want to see them when we flip, but it's not super critical every time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you remove that, you would get 5 additional counters. So if you flip them and you don't have the demon, you're gonna get 5.
Yeah.
Right? So then, after that point, if you have this demon removed from the game, when you flip, he gets +6/+6. If somehow it leaves the removed area, goes back in your deck, like with Gil Lapis, he would lose that buff.
But we don't really care. He could die as long as he gets his counters.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't matter.
We use him for that. That's it.
Cool. So the major combination that we want to work in this deck is that you want him to have at least his 10 counters, and you want to have Rising from the Depths in hand.
So a way to do that, I'll cover the chants first.
Yeah.
Is we have 4 Ancient Knowledge. So what it does is a 1-cost quick cast. You either deal 400 damage to target J/Resonator, or you put 3 mana counters on your J ruler. Usually the first one I see I'll put 3 on. The rest after that usually like burn something. Usually, maybe. But let's say you start with 2 and you use your stone to put 3 on, you're at 5. Then when you flip and you don't have your demon, you get 5, so you go to 10. And that's how much you need to play another card coming up. But anyways, next we have 3 Summon from Memoria. So 1-drop, blue. It's not ancient magic. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put a card from among them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. I usually like to start the game with that, and use my first will, like my first stone, to look at the top 3, try and find like a big blue creature if I have Rising from the Depths in my hand. If I don't, so either I want Rising from the Depths, or there's a 2-drop chant showing just in a second now that searches for ancient magic. If I have either one of those, I want to use that to grab like a big blue creature, which we'll show later. If I don't, I want to try and find either the search card or Rising. So we have 3 of these. They're Rune of Sol, quick cast 2, ancient magic. Search your deck for an ancient magic card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck after. So, and it's quick cast, which is nice. We have 2 Ancient Knowledge. I wouldn't play more than 2, just because of the cost. But it's a bigger version of Summon from Memoria. Look at the top 5 cards from your deck. Put 2 from among those into your hand, the rest on the bottom. And it is Ancient Magic, so it's pretty handy. And then we have 3 Rising from the Depths. So, if you pay 4, you just return all Resonators to owner's hands. If you pay a total of 10, so 4 plus the 6, you can, after everything's bounced back, you can drop 3 Water Resonators from your hand into field, regardless of the cost.
And now we'll get into Resonators. This is where things get a little bit janky.
Okay, so I'm running 4 Flames of Nyarlathotep. So it's a 1-drop Cthulhu that you can banish to produce 3. You can produce 3, or so you banish produce 1. You can produce 3 if you have 5 stones, which unlocks the seal. But usually I don't.
Yeah, you'll get this combo before turn 5.
Yeah. Way before.
Unless you're me playing this deck and you get Curse, because I
Yeah.
played this deck just to try out another deck that we're going to show off a little bit later, and I lost all 3 times. I didn't get the combo once.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was because I was going up against a deck that did have the biggest weakness for this deck in it, which is hand control.
Yeah, because at least canceling, you can kind of bait them. Like, play one thing, then they're going to cancel it, and you're like, okay, they used their cancel, and then you play your actual thing, which is not bad, because a lot of the early game cards in this deck have swiftness, and they're kind of aggressive, so you can kind of bait them into canceling those. So, the next, we have 3. Melgis War Beast. It's a 1-drop, 4/1, first strike. It gets +1/+1 in swiftness as long as you control another Resonator with Will of Despair. So, early game, like first turn, if you played it, it wouldn't have swiftness. Later, it probably will, because there's a lot of actually Will of Despair in this deck. So, I have a single Fairy Tale Library Alexandria. Literally, every time that comes out, I'm going to say human. That's the critical part of the combo.
Yeah, like realistically, I think that last card we showed is the only non-human.
No. There's this next card is a Heroic Spirit.
Oh, okay. So we've got Melgis' War thing. We've got the Flames of Nyarlathotep.
You'll see the humans when we get there. So we got 4.
Oh, dude, this was totally an addition. Why'd you put it in Resonators?
Oh, because it's the only addition.
Okay, so wait, are we done with the Resonators?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, we run 4 Lars, Swordsman of the Dusk. So it's a 6/2. Will of Despair, Swiftness, first strike.
Will of Despair.
Whatever. You suck. Pay 0, switch the attack and defense of this guy. I don't use that ability really. But it's just nice to have a 2-drop Swiftness. Is all I really care about.
Well, he's pretty much the new Lancelot now.
Sort of. He's definitely not as strong, but...
How strong was Lancelot? 7/7?
He was a 6/6, but
6/6,
you could pay 1 to buff him by 100 and all that, and then if you get him to 1,000, he'd zap something for 700. Much more aggressive, but... that's still really good in this combo. So I run 3 Runic Demon Akiot. Don't usually play him. Sometimes I do if like later in the combo I have nothing to grab for a 2-drop, which is pretty important. So if I have nothing else to grab, I'll put him into play. For the most part, I want to remove him when you Judgment. That's pretty much it. Next, I have 2 Melgis, King of Black Flame. So the balance of this compared to like the Lars, it's not that super important. You could go like 3 Lars, 3 of him if you find that balance a little better. Preferably, I kind of like 2 of these more so because I like to combo into them, not so much find them early. So 2 is fine. Next, I have 3 Fayli Genius. What is it? Genius Ripoff
Artist.
Yeah. So that's the main part of the combo. So you say human because you want her to have swiftness. You pay red, you tap her, put token copy of another target Resonator you control into your field. At the next end of turn, that token's controller banishes it. So we'll get to why that's the main part of the combo.
We'll actually physically show you guys how the combo works.
So we run 3 Captain Hook, the pirate, 5-drop Fairy Tale when this card is in the field. Put up to 2 target Resonators to their owner's hand or 2 target stones on top of their stone deck. So we want a fair amount of big blue Resonators so that we can draw into them and do them with Rising.
What set was the promo of? This
set is when this promo came out.
Oh, it was from
this set.
No. Okay, sorry, not which set. Which booster box did it come as a promo with? Was it Legacy Lost or Emperor?
First came out in Curse. It came out as a promo in.
I don't think it says.
Pretty sure it was.
I think it was
set or the set before.
I think it was Return of the Dragon Emperor.
Probably, yeah, actually. So, anyways, we have 3 of those, and then the main part of the combo is Umr At-Tawil. So,
and we got 4 of these.
Yeah, because we definitely want to draw into him. So he's a human / Cthulhu, Will of Despair. When this card enters your field, search your deck for up to 1 target non-chant card with total cost 1, total cost 2, total cost 3. put them into your field. So the main combo works with, you know, let's say we have one of him in hand and we have a hook.
Yeah,
like,
and
not, well, maybe like a Lars or something, and like a Rising. This is like usually what I end up with. To be fair, like if you play this early, it's gonna get bounced back to your hand with Rising. So we get to 10, we flip him. Then if this was in play and you play Rising for 10, he would go back to hand, put 3 Water Resonators into play. We put him in, we put Umr At-Tawil and Hook. Bounce back whatever. He says grab a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop. That's going to be our first 3-drop, right? Then we grab that for our first 2-drop because it's a non-chant.
And of course,
the 1-drop is the Cthulhu.
You say humans?
Yep, you say humans. And this is a human/Cthulhu. So you banish this, you tap this, you say I make a copy of Umr At-Tawil, so token copy. That copy comes in, you grab a 3-drop, you grab a 2-drop, you grab a 1-drop.
And you do it again.
Banish the 1-drop, tap, copy, make a copy, do that, drop your 3-drop. There's only 3 of them, so you know typically when you're going to combo out. 2-drop, 1-drop. Banish, tap, create a copy. Now when you do your last one, you want to drop in a Melgis, you want to drop in a Lars if you can. If you run out of 2-drops, just grab your Runic Demon. And then you grab a Melgis War Beast, because with other Will of Despair out, it gets swiftness. So Will of Despair, Cthulhu's Will of Despair. So at that point, you would have 8, 16,
24,
32. That'd be a 5 at that point. That'd be a 6 swiftness. That'd be a 6 swiftness. That'd be a 6 swiftness. That'd be a 7 that you could pay life into to make it bigger. Then you have this swiftness. The only thing that wouldn't attack is Hook. Yeah. But you have, literally, if you have Umr At-Tawil and like 3 copies of him that can all swing, that's almost 40 damage.
Yeah.
Right?
And because of Rising from the Depths, your opponent has nothing on the field.
Yeah.
Unless they're running like the new 0.
Literally, they would need like the new 0 and a duel out
yeah.
at the same time.
Yep.
For you to not get your combo off, for you to not bounce stuff back.
But essentially, if they're running a deck that isn't prepared for this, and they're not running ridiculous amounts of cancels or ridiculous amounts of hand control, you pretty much just wipe their field, and you've hit them for more than 50.
Yeah, so like you could sideboard stuff against that. Like, it's not too hard, but like this is just a straightforward go for a combo kind of deck. Like it's not too crazy. Like early game, they have that sort of stuff out. You have stuff like Melgis, who, you can pay a certain amount of life. He gets first strike and gets stronger. And like,
oh yeah, and then you can
you just bait them out by just being ridiculously aggressive early game.
Yeah. So that's the combo. This deck is just, it's a weird, very late game because this guy came out in Legacy Lost, right? So there's been 2 sets since then. Yeah. There's going to be those booster decks that are going to be released, or not booster decks, those pre-made starter decks that are going to be released soon, and then the first booster box of the new set is going to come out in September. And it's like, it's crazy to make such a phenomenal combination with this ruler. Like, that's as old as he is.
It's not necessarily this with specifically this ruler, but they definitely made a combo.
I think it works the best with this ruler, though.
It definitely does. Better than the other 2 Ancient Magic people. And better than Prisia, because there's less things that put something on top specifically to flip and combo like that. But anyways, we have to go over the stones too. So we have 4 stones of Magic Stone of Heart's Core, so red-blue. I have 2 proxies in this stone base. It's a Magic Stone of Vaporization, which goes with him. I just have 2 of the new Heart's Core to go with that.
Yeah, so it's just 4 of these guys. 4 Magic Stone of Vaporization.
Yeah, so all it does is same thing as the other one, but you can pay 1, tap it to put a mana counter on. I almost never do that.
Yeah.
And then just to make the mana curve perfect, you have 2 Magic Stone, Burning Water Magic Stone. So it comes in with 2 counters. You tap it, produce red, or you tap it, remove a counter, produce blue. Just every stone, you're going to get that blue first turn if you need it. You're going to get that red first turn if you need it. and it just, yeah, it's just really simple.
Okay, so if you were to come up with a name for this crazy Wombo combo deck with Sol, what would you call it?
The Training Wheels combo deck.
The Training Wheels combo
It's
deck.
really simple. It's really straightforward. If anybody knows what you're gonna do, you're screwed, because they're gonna play around it. They're gonna do stuff to like stop you from doing it, because it's really straightforward. And if you get the right cards, it's really early game, and it teaches somebody how to play a combo style deck really well, because you kind of have to make sure, like, if you open your hand up and you start off with like the copy a creature card and like your library, which gives swiftness, you want to throw that to the bottom. You want to make sure you start with the right kind of hand, and you want to make sure that you get to your game-winning cards, so Rising and like certain cards you want to get in your hand. And yeah, it just teaches somebody how to play a combo deck. It's really simple. So if somebody's starting playing, this is really straightforward. It's not like a really complex. My Gil Lapis deck is pretty complicated, right? Because you have to think about, like, with that deck, you play their deck against them. You have to make sure that you're removing cards. You have to play like clearing off the board, like removal and stuff. This is just like play a thing, drop your thing, you get more things, and then you swing with everything.
Play a thing, drop a thing, and then swing?
Basically. It's combo out and then turn every card that you can sideways.
Okay, that was the thing. I hope
Yep.
you guys enjoyed that other thing that we talked about for 20
Yep.
minutes. We'll see you guys in the next thing.
Peace out.